Before commencing the session, my sincere pranams to our beloved Guruji, Brahmarshi Patriji. A great pranams to our great Grand Master, Mahavatar Babaji. Right. So I think I'm seeing the Manisha Madam. I think some of our masters have joined here. So hopefully you continue the sessions. I think such a great masters are keep coming here, giving you the good lessons, good teachings. So no need to miss for any reason. Just you are giving 1 hour for yourself. After that 1 hour, it's up to you, like how you are going to use this energy, right? So always try to utilize this time, just 9 to 10 sharp. Like maybe another 10 minutes extra, or 15 minutes. That's all. So that's how you need to like more people have to join from the Zoom to the WhatsApp to the Zoom. Then what will happen is overall learning here it will be more interesting. The master who come here with a great effort and trying to teach you, you'll also get more interest definitely. So every day without fail, all these masters now 19 masters. Hopefully, it will increase. It will keep on increasing day by day. Okay, so let's make it like that. Okay, right. Okay, friends. So today, we'll be learning the new wisdom. We start learning from today. Maybe this particular wisdom also goes for like how negative ions also we are learning. Similarly, this is a pineal gland, activation of pineal gland. It also continues for 4 5 sessions. Okay, right. So what is the pineal gland? First of all, we need to understand. Okay, it's a pineal gland, pine cone shape, right? Pine cone shape. So that's why it's a conical shape, pine cone shape. So that's why it is called as a pineal. The name also it come like that only. So the pineal gland is also called in the different names as such, like ap- epiphysis is also another name, like it's a scientific name. At the same time, this is a very small, very small, very small in size. Okay, within our physical body, but this is nothing but a third eye. Okay, if you activate the pineal gland, you as good as you have activated your inner eye, that is third eye. Okay, your inner eye, so with which you can see inside. Now what you can see, if you see with your physical eyes, you can see only the outer world. Whatever objects are there, no, you can able to perceive. So with certain frequency of light, right, which is refracted from your retina, then you can find out the objective. That means the outer world you can see through these physical eyes. But if you close these two physical eyes, there is nothing inside, right? But after closing these two eyes, slowly, if you start practicing, then slowly your inner eye, the third eye, gets activated. Okay, so that's how it works. So that methods, how to activate, what are the different things you need to do for that, all that we'll learn slowly. We'll learn, but so what I'm trying to say, so the third eye is nothing but your pineal gland only. But one thing is very important. So we say that the pineal gland, what we are discussing today, is a connectivity between your soul and body. So the body and soul must be connected somewhere, isn't it? So this is a physical body. Soul is where? It is everywhere in the body. But how it is connected, where it is connected? Through this so-called a smallest part. Smallest part. What is the smallest part? Let's see. within our physical body, the size of this is, let me tell you, 0.2 to 0.3 inch long. Okay, and right now 0.1 to 0.2 inch width. Okay, weight is about 0.11 grams. Okay, 0.11 grams. In the brain of a human being is about how much it is, the 1.2 kgs. Our brain weight is 1.2 kgs. Within that, the size of the weight of the pineal gland is 0.11 grams. Now you imagine what a small size it is. But do you know what is the importance of it? Which is very, 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 very important. Highly, highly, highly important. Without which a human being cannot evolve. He cannot evolve. He cannot enrich his qualities. He will have all low standard qualities within him. Understand? That we will discuss further. So, this is what it is. So, what I'm trying to say here is this pineal gland is much, much important. Though it is small, it's very, very important. It is directly the connectivity between your physical body and the soul. Or you can say your mind to the soul, the connectivity, right? That connectivity is through this particular part only. That's how we need to understand. Now, other thing is, so this consists of two kind of cells. Remember this, two kind of cells it consists of. It is built with the help of two kind of cells within our brain. The first one is pinealocytes. Pinealocytes. That's one kind of cells. The second one is glial cells. Glial. So that means GLIAL, glial cells. These two type of cells. Understand? So that's how it is. The glial cells are nerve cells which support and isolate structures. The glial cells increase in number quicker than the spine allocyte cells. Okay. But what happens is, as the body ages, what happens is the glial cells will keep on increasing than pine allocate sites. That's how it happens. And then slowly what happens, which causes some kind of a cyst at this part, that pineal gland part, where it will be approximately, that also will come to understand. See, from here 1.5 inch inside, so from the back of the wall, so right now, and especially the left hemisphere, right hemisphere in the center, almost it comes in the center. From here 1.5 inch in the deep. That's how it is. Okay, so that is the location of the pineal gland basically. So this is built with these two kind of cells I told you. So as the age increases, what happens? The glial cells increase in number, and the spine allocate cells will be lesser in number. That's not a problem. But this causes some kind of a cyst formation at this point, slowly. And then this in turn deposits calcium and magnesium, okay, so-called salts, right? These two salts get deposited at that point. Okay, as they are increased, this so-called these salts are getting increased. Why it is getting increased? Because we don't take care of our lifestyle. We don't take care of our food style, lifestyle. So we don't have proper lifestyle. We never follow it. Then what happened? It starts increasing. It's called calcification. It's called calcification. So basically getting depositing of these two salts, basically this calcium and magnesium, mostly calcium. This calcium is going to deposit at that so-called the pineal gland. That, see, once the calcification happens, what is meant by calcification? Depositing of more amount of calcium in any place of the body is called calcification. For example, calcification may happen at the heart, in the, like, liver, kidney, anywhere in the body it may happen. The calcification, where wherever there is a more calcium, that's called calcification. But when the calcification happens, what happens? That becomes very tough, like, it becomes very hard. Understand? So when this becomes hard, pineal gland becomes hard, it means that it stopped working. Understand? So as we are aging, as the age is increasing, what's happening? So the so-called cyst formation and the calcification is increasing, and then slowly the third eye portion, so third eye means nothing but pineal gland portion, is getting hard, calcified, and then it doesn't comes into use. It goes into so-called dormant. It's called so-called dormant condition. This you need to understand. Now, the pineal gland is, right, it is visible in the embryo, that is in the fetus. When the baby is in the mother womb, it is visible in the embryo at the 36th day of the pregnancy. Understand? This starts formation. And also, it is fully developed by the time of the birth of the baby. That also you need to remember. Okay, this is how the minimum information of the pineal gland. Now let's go to some more history of the pineal gland. So where and all, who and all knows about this pineal gland, right? The history in Indian culture, I mean Hindu, Jainism, Buddhism, Chinese, Chinese and various cultures, right? Everybody knows about this. So how much they know, what do they know? So let's understand some more details about this. So in fourth century BC, the Greek anatomist, right? His name is Alexandria. Described this pineal gland. What did he describe? He is called a sphincter, which regulates the flow of thoughts within us. It's called sphincter, which regulates the flow of thoughts within physical body. He named it as like that. That means those days itself, they recognized the connection between the body and the soul. You understand? Those days itself, they recognize this. So why did he use this sphincter, which regulates the flow of thoughts? Let me tell you. So this pineal gland is such an important organ. If it doesn't function, if it over functions, if it under functions, both is a problem. If it is fully closed, right? If it is fully closed, no question of working. And if it is fully working, over functioning, that's also bad. So what it has to do is it has to regulate properly. It has to balance it. We have to balance it. So, example, right? If it's a really under functioning, what happened? The kind of thought flow, the flow of thoughts, what happens within us, that's going to be regulated very badly. Let me tell you. So sometimes we find in the society, even in the richest people, the kids, rich people kids, right? They are rich in society, but they go to the school and they do the thefting of some the friends items and whatever, then bring it to house. Okay, but in fact they are rich enough and good enough. But what happened? Why they are doing that? Why they're stealing? That theft kind of those kind of properties they have, qualities they have. So do you think that it's a mistake of that person? No. The problem is because of the lifestyle. See, let me tell you, until age of 6 or 7, okay, that pineal gland is very clean in nature, very clean, no problem. I mean, there's no calcification, just as good as that muscle is so flexible, it is working very good. That's why you see all the kids, right, kids which are up to age of 6 or 7, they keep laughing, smiling, playing, playful, happy, joyful, all that. Why they do all that? Because they are those are the qualities of pineal gland. We call them, those are the qualities of divine. That means pineal gland is properly working, you become divine being. You yourself become divine being. No need of, no need to worry at all, right? Whatever you wish, it will happen. Okay. So the pineal gland is not working, then we are completely gone bad, right? The way we are working is underperformance. At the same time, we get into sadness, depression, unknowing fear and whatnot. Everything takes place within us. Okay, all the bad quality starts happening within us. That is why this calcification supposed to not happen. But so up to 6 years, as you know, the kid has, the baby is just born and say is growing. 6 years, up to 6 years or so, we don't feed unnecessary food, isn't it? Mostly mother's milk. After that, little food we start adding, the maybe liquid food, all that it will start, right? So then calcification obviously will not happen much. But as the age increases by 10 years or whatever, right? So nowadays it is happening little faster. Why it is little faster? Because junk food. Completely the way we are feeding our children with the junk food. So much salt is food, so much the all the so-called processed foods, wherein oil, the kind of oil what they use, the kind of amount of sugar what they use, salt what they use, which is in a exorbitant manner. So this is causing directly, right, calcification of the third eye point, that is pineal gland point. It is getting closed, right? Closed absolutely forever, right? So that's how you are seeing the devastated society now. Understand? The devastated society. Why you are finding these many crimes and these many so many problems happening, even in the human beings, elders also. And see, I'm telling you, just by controlling this a single gland, whatever we are talking today, the pineal gland, and then we call it as the third eye point. That's a point where once that starts functioning normally, your third eye powers are accessible. Okay, without which your third eye powers are not accessible. So that's why, friends, we also call this as the entry portal of the thoughts. Entry portal of the thoughts within the human system. We call it as, remember this point. And we also call it as a seat of the soul, seat of our soul. Where is the soul seating? The soul is seated within us at the pineal gland point. That's also very important. So that's this is also important. So remember this point also. Okay, like this. So however, this pineal gland, the name whatever I told you. So how it has come? It's like a pine cone shape. So that's why it is called as a pineal gland. And now, when you call it as a seat of the soul, you can understand. You can understand the connectivity of the soul happens through this. That means if you activate this, you can see into the inner world. That means you can get into inner world. Otherwise, you can't do anything. Okay, that's how we need to understand. Now, modern scientists, they did not know this pineal gland. Let me tell you, this produces hormones and all these things until 1958. Remember this point. So they did not know properly. This produces the so-called hormones, right? When they found that it is, really producing some hormones, so all the endocrine glands, endocrine glands within the physical body, it is producing. So they found it after 1958. Before that, they do not know. And especially in 1886, two scientists by name microanatomy, number one, Baldwin Spencer, they discovered independently. So what did they discover is the pineal gland especially reacts to the falling of the light on the retina, right? On the retina, what are the light which falls onto the retina? So that directly detected by pineal gland, then it understands, right? Then it understands, and it's like a outer eyes. Outer eyes sends the information through light. Once the light falls on the retina, outer eyes, then it will send the information to the pineal gland, saying that I am receiving the light, isn't it? So then accordingly, what happened? It was controlling the rhythm of the so-called body clock, bio clock, so-called circadian clock. So that means the circadian clock will be completely maintained by what? This pineal gland only. So circadian clock, bio clock of the physical body is maintained by the so-called this only. So that's how, but our ancient India knows this particular thing for a quite long time. Our yoga, all the yoga books have written about this from since ages centuries also. So they quoted this as a like third eye. Okay, so this point particularly they quoted as a third eye. So now, after this discovery, so two central hormones of the pineal gland were discovered. So that means after the first discovery, 1856 afterwards, and then the next discovery happened is this hormone, this particular pineal gland generates two hormones. Number one is serotonin, second is melatonin. Understand? So the serotonin and melatonin, these two hormones are generated by the pineal gland only. Understand? So serotonin is the preliminary like actually serotonin is the preliminary stage of melatonin. Okay. So serotonin is generated whenever the light falls on the retina. It means that it is becoming day. So it is becoming day means the pineal gland will generate so-called serotonin. Until which, if there is no light falling on the eyes are closed and you are not receiving any light, and that means it is dark. It means night. Then what happens is it starts producing only melatonin. Melatonin is throughout the night. Then as the melatonin starts increasing right from the time of 6 p.m. till the early morning, right? By the time of early morning, 5 a.m. onwards, as the sun is going to rise, isn't it? So 5 6 by 6 a.m. it starts producing so-called serotonin. That means the melatonin itself is getting converted into serotonin. That's what very important. We need to understand. So this the functionality of this particular gland is all these things it will be doing. So we need to understand this. So that's how it is. And also there's another the great the invention happened. The same pineal gland is responsible to produce the so-called one very good chemical. It's called LSD-25. LSD-25 is also getting generated in the same pineal gland, but the responsibility of that is actually is it is going to seriously change the state of consciousness. It means, so this is something like whenever somebody go into the actually it is also secretion from the pineal gland, but when it happens is especially like when somebody sit in the meditation and they were doing it, they get a lot of experiences, right? The deeper experiences, such kind of things, it's like the state of consciousness is completely changed. You're not in the state of physical consciousness. You go little beyond the physical consciousness. So you feel the difference, obviously, right? You feel like you are somewhere else, and you are flying in somewhere. All these experiences also generated or produced by certain chemicals in the brain. They're telling you. Imagine now, many of the times what happen, we sit in the meditation, and then we think that we are doing astral travel, we are going somewhere. So all these experiences also cannot be believed. Okay. So we unless we are really sure about our astral travel, we can't say all that. You see, now this is the one chemical. I'm going to talk about other chemical. There's also going to be like a higher consciousness, like that kind of experience it will create within your brain. You think that you are doing astral travel. No, you are getting that kind of experiences. It's creating, it is like making you to feel like you are in different state of consciousness. So like yeah, people who take who go into the different alternate consciousness, right? So through meditation or deep sleep, whatever, so that kind of experiences will be created with certain chemicals generated in this same pineal gland. That will also one more also I will study about that, right? So friends, here all about is pineal gland, right, which regulates all the chemical composition in various states of consciousness. That's always there. So the another one is Swami Karmananda Saraswati. He wrote very clearly, okay, very clearly, that in a day to day, in mundane life, right, what happened? It's everyday state of consciousness. So what we have done is we are actually we, as such, within every day to day affairs or whatever mundane affairs, we locked inside that. We are completely locked inside that. So as we are completely locked inside that, like a prisoner. So how the prisoner will be there? In fact, a prisoner get into the prison, so then he can't come out, right? He's chained. He's chained and he kept inside, and he can never come out of it, and he'll be only into the in that particular cell or a jail, right? So likewise, we are also kept inside that. We are as such, we are kept within this mundane life, and we don't know beyond this anything at all, right? So beyond these boundaries we don't know anything. So but in order to increase our consciousness, expand our consciousness, what we need to do is we have to go out of this so-called chaining, the mundane life affairs. So we have to expand the consciousness, means then we must get this pineal gland into proper activation in day-to-day life. Otherwise, we'll be just stuck. We'll be doing every day same job, same work, same routine things, and we don't find any difference at all. Where do you find the difference? Show me that. Anybody is having any difference from morning to night, right? Everybody goes to the job or goes to some other thing, and then come back and then sleep and then eat and go. Is there any difference? Are you finding any difference day to day? Are you really experiencing anything different? Tell me. Nothing. Maybe some learning may be there. Even some people not learning, they lose their learning also, and they get into depressions also. Nowadays, that is also happening. Instead of learning, they are losing what they have, isn't it? So ultimately, what is the use of this life? Is like that's what I mentioned in example. Like a prisoner, he just locked up, kept in the one particular cell. He's in that. That's all. His whole life is gone. Similarly, we came into the physical life. We are like a leading the mundane life, wherein no question of expansion of the consciousness at all. The reason being, we don't know how to use this pineal gland, first of all, and we don't do anything new. We never try anything new, isn't it? So we'll be stuck up in the mundane life. That's not going to be better. So we need to really increase our consciousness, then so get enriched in our qualities. Then only we can see the new life. We can see new of you, isn't it? So that's how it happens, right? So, friends, here, what are the material functions of the pineal gland? If you want to understand, what are the material functions? So, this fine cone shaped pineal gland, right? It is very, very teeny in the size, very, very teeny in the size, but it has got the important physical functions. What are those though it's very little gland, right? But it's very, very important for our physical and spiritual purposes, for both the things. It is going to it's a control center it's a control center for our inner clock, that is called bio clock, circadian clock, and it is going to regulate our sleep, right? And it's going to regulate our sleep and wake function, that is sleeping and awaking both, okay? And it's also going to increase our intuition, right? It's directly responsible for our intuition. That's what I'm trying to say. Once the function of the gland starts to slow down, the physical and physiological aging process begins. So this gland starts, decreasing in the functioning, your age start increasing. That's also very important. That is why we have to make sure that this particular the pineal gland starts properly working, and we should see that calcification will never happen. Okay, that we'll see how calcification can be avoided, and how what is the kind of lifestyle we have to adopt, what are the various methods of activation of third eye, or activate the pineal gland. All that we will be learning more and more now. So the one more simple topic that for today's we'll cover, and then rest of the things we'll take up in the next class. So the this topic is the part of pineal gland function, as I was mentioning, sleep wake rhythm. Okay, in our body, sleep wake rhythm, how it is going to maintain. So during the daytime, our body produces the serotonin. Okay, and night time when it dark, serotonin is going to be changed into melatonin. Simple. Okay, understand this. So both hormones so called neurotransmitters. They are called neurotransmitters. These acts as a connection centers in all the nerve cells of the body, okay, which send out and forward electrical impulses into the entire body through the blood. Okay, so these two chemical messengers travel through the body, so travel through the blood, and it is going to be supplied to the all the organs. When these impulses, electrical impulses or neurotransmitters travels to the blood and reaches to all the organs, let's say in the daytime or night time. If serotonin reaches in the daytime, all the organs they get activated, saying that it's a active working time. Okay, it's a active working time for every organ. In the night time, if the melatonin goes and reaches to every organ of the body, basically at every cell it will reaches. So then all the cell will detect and work like a sleeping mode. What is it called sleeping mode? In the night time, so when we are sleeping, consciously sleeping, isn't it? Then inside us, all the organs will be at the rest condition. Rest in the sense, repair condition, cleansing mode. It's called cleansing mode. And especially this causes the effective detoxification inside us, and effective detoxification will happen inside us. This serotonin is called happy hormone. You know that, right? So happy hormone is responsible for kind of a relaxing, strong mood uplifting, and this kind of effect will be there on our physical body. And melatonin is responsible for melatonin, the hormone that is responsible for our sleep wake rhythm. Okay, of course, this melatonin is produced by again pineal gland only. So this melatonin amount of melatonin production is all depend upon the amount of the light falling upon the retina of the eye. Okay, so in the night time, the dark night, there is no question of any light. Okay, there is no question of any light on the retina of the eye. It means then the pineal gland understands that it is a night time, then it starts increasing the melatonin within us. Okay, so that's how it starts. And then once the melatonin is more, then what happens? We will get into sleep automatically. Many people they are suffering because of the lack of sleep. What is the reason? They are working throughout the night, late in night. All the devices or gadgets are on, and blue screens are on. The microwaves are on. The your so-called wireless router is on. Your mobile waves are on. So you are maybe you are living nearby the big wireless router, wireless pole, whatever it is outside. All these are the reasons. Okay, so because of all these reasons, what happened? Your melatonin doesn't produce properly. Remember this point. Okay, you have to switch off everything. You have to go into the deepest to darkest condition. Then only it starts producing. Who will start producing? Pineal gland is told to produce. Understand? So the most important critical antioxidant within our body is called melatonin. I can say that. It can cure right from headache to the cancer if you properly follow the sleep and the wake up rhythm. Understand? So this is also maintained by who? Pineal gland only will maintain. The so-called the improper working or the imbalance of the pineal gland is going to cause all the kind of problems. So remember this point. So that is why so regulation of sleep wake sleep wake up, this so-called circadian rhythm is very much maintained by this one only. So right. So this especially this 24 all this 24 hours clock, 24 hours clock, bio clock is nothing but a circadian clock, wherein like the sleeping, eating, reproduction, reproducing, so all these things. So who is going to maintain all these things? Everything is maintained by our inner clock only, right? So this inner clock has to be properly maintained, means our pineal gland has to be properly working. And sometimes, for example, sometimes let me tell you, when the clock goes out of gear, that is when we travel, for example, from here to US, right? Isn't it? So we are accustomed to in India, daytime we work and nighttime we sleep, isn't it? When we go there, it's a reverse, ulta. So then the long haul flight we take and we go there, then our circadian clock get confused. There, the daytime we will be sleeping and the nighttime will be working. So it's like sometime this confusion will be there. It's called jet lag. So because of jet lag, so definitely, so until this get adjusted, so our circadian clock gets adjusted, we will be in the trouble. Once we get adjusted to that the new time zone, so our circadian clock gets resetted. Then what happened? It becomes everything normal. Otherwise, you don't get sleep properly, you don't get a proper so-called thirst or hunger or everything get disturbed because the bio clock is out of gear. That's meant it means it is actually gone into the reset mode. So that's what we need to understand. So this is how, so such an important thing. So the sleep wake up phases all maintained by the so-called bio clock, which is completely under the control of pineal gland, my dear friends. Okay. See, final one more thing we'll discuss today. So then we will close the session. So now in us, right, there is the primary functionality of this pineal gland is one more very very important. Okay, I told you just now. I told you you can cure from headache to cancer. How it's possible? Regeneration of damaged cells will also be done by this pineal gland. How it is going to do that? Remember this. See, one thing is the melatonin is the, I told you just now, melatonin is nothing but a strong antioxidant potential within our physical body. What it has is it has ability to reduce or destroy the damaged cells. Understand? So studies, they have already proven, so many studies have in the proven, they have proven that there is one more. This is actually naturally produced antioxidant within our body. There is one more. The synthetic antioxidant is called DMSO. This is a different subject. In fact, I want to teach in the future. So a wonderful subject. So DMSO, that's a dimethyl sulfoxide. Okay, DMSO, synthetic antioxidant. If some people use this DMSO regularly, so many people are using in the therapies DMSO, they are using it. So this product is also known for its strong protection against electromagnetic rays. Right. So the same thing apply to the melatonin also within us. What is happening? What is produced every day? It means instead of buying the synthetic antioxidant so-called DMSO, what our melatonin does is same. Both are same. So we don't need to buy this. Generally, what happen? No, many people, the pineal gland not working and the melatonin is not producing properly. Then we go and buy from outside market, so called the synthetic antioxidant DMSO, which we will use part of our therapy. Then obviously it will be able to, what it does is basically this antioxidant, as I told you, any dead cells it will remove. See, within our physical body, what happens night time? The so-called detoxification. What the detoxification means? Whatever the dead cells are there, that has to be removed. That has to be cleansed. It is called detoxification. So when this happens, what happens? You never get into any disease. That is the promise of melatonin. Same thing is done by DMSO, but you have to buy. Here you don't need to buy, isn't it? So which is better? So you think about it. Okay. So that's how it is, friends. Right. So this is what we need to remember very carefully. Right. So thank you, friends. Now, so with this, we'll be closing the session today. So the next session, we will learn much more about the pineal gland. Thank you. Thank you so much.